If you have highly ambitious goals, whether it's studying for hours, getting fit, or reading 50 books a year, this system will enable you to achieve it, regardless of your starting point. In this video, we'll cover how it's insanely easy to achieve even the most ambitious of goals if only you adopt the right system, how to actually adopt that system for any kind of goal you have, and finally, the genius way to deal with low motivation and literally hack consistency. This is a science-based system that combines all the frameworks for consistency and achievement into a simple yet highly efficient system for goal achievement. But before we jump into all of that, I want you to answer this question. How was the Eiffel Tower built? Surely it's a very ambitious goal to build a 300-meter pyramidal iron tower, right? Was it some artist who had a goal to build the tower in one day and did it? No. Well, was it an artist who built it gradually laying brick by brick? Also no, that would take like 10 years or something. The Eiffel Tower was built as follows. The building process was divided into sub-processes like bolting, installation of stairs and elevators, and iron construction, and each was systematized to run automatically. So the equipment and manpower needed for iron construction, for example, were gathered and then set into a system to function on its own so that we can systematize other sub-processes. In short, the construction process was divided into multiple sub-processes, which were then systematized. This allowed the tower to be built with maximum efficiency in the least time possible because this is the correct and most efficient approach. But how exactly do I apply that to our personal goals, like the ones we mentioned? How do we achieve our most ambitious goals with such ease and simplicity? And is that even possible? It is. Let's take getting fit as an example. We'll first divide it into sub-processes, eating enough protein, eating enough calories, working out consistently, etc. We'll take one sub-process at a time, implementing a tiny change in it towards our goal and developing it to last. When these tiny changes last, they're also known as habits, and they eventually systematize that process. Developing habits might need effort, but once they are developed, the process becomes automatic, and then you can proceed to developing the next one, stacking them on top of each other to perfectly systematize each sub-process. But we all know action is always easier said than done. In reality, there are a lot of obstacles to a successful systematization with such smoothness, like the fact that you can't be consistent in doing or developing the habit itself, or that sometimes you're not motivated enough to do the habit itself, and finally, when you are motivated, like New Year's resolutions, you pick up on your goals very thrillingly, but soon drop them. Let's start with that last one, also known as the New Year, New Me mentality. In light of this system, we can see why that fails and why only 8% of people actually get to achieve their New Year's resolutions. Habit development should be on one thing at a time and as gradual and as tiny as possible. When your New Year's resolution is to get fit, build a business, read 1,000 books a week, do cold showers, and journal daily, and you implement all of this together, it's only natural that you'll fail because you're trying to implement so many changes at once. You then go back to zero and are stuck in this loop. Again, small habits one at a time gradually. Slow and steady, not fast and shaky. Now onto the topics people suffer with the most, inconsistency and lack of motivation. The solution to this whole paradox of consistency and motivation is actually insanely simple and easy to implement. That's because you're looking at it the wrong way. If only you adjust your perspective, you'll solve it very easily because no human on earth is motivated all the time or 100% consistent anyway. Nobody's like that. You have an all or none mentality. Who said you have to function perfectly all the time to achieve your goals? You don't. Instead, set absolute minimums that you can be consistent with regardless of motivation or any kind of circumstance. Although these absolute minimums might seem like they're doing nothing in the short term, they're doing wonders in the long term. Let me show you how. Let's take an example, reading 50 books a year. Doing the math, that's about 30 pages a day. If you feel like today you're low on motivation but still want to be consistent in chasing your reading goal, you don't have to read the 30 pages. As an absolute minimum, reading as little as one page is okay for today. Although this sounds useless, how in hell can reading one page help me read 50 books a year? That pace is slower than a turtle. Again, adjust your perspective. The point of reading that one page is not to read one page. The point of reading that one page is to deepen the roots of this act as a habit in your mind, making it easier and more automatic in the future. See where we're going? Easier, more automatic. This is exactly what we're looking for, making goal achievement simply a matter of time because you're an autopilot. If you have days in which you read one page, you'll also have days in which you'll read 50, 70, even 100, simply because you committed to doing even the tiniest of progress rather than doing nothing at all. This is a graph comparing consistency, even if minimal, to the all or none mentality, which eventually fails. Doing that, you develop consistency without even realizing, and motivation is now unneeded. It can help, but you don't need to depend on it. With such easy consistency, a goal like studying for hours with focus daily is a piece of cake. And since we're talking about studying with focus, check out my full mini course on how to master the skill of focus. It's a game changer. Finally, here's the video summary along with some valuable tips.